In this video, I'll be showing us how to make a short for the hip padded pattern. So by the side of your paper, go in by 3 inches and at the top come down by 1 inch. Then get your actual hip measurement divided by 4 and mark. That's what I'm doing there. So for her actual hip is 3 inches, and the padded hip I'm using is that 33 inches plus 3 inches, making it 36 inches, which means that I want her hip to be 36 inches. So for this crotch depth, I'm using her actual hip, which is 33 inches divided by 4. Now from that crotch depth, go up by 1.5 inches or 2 inches, or you can measure from your waist to where your hip position is and mark. That's still the same thing. Now from the top line there, get her full length. So for her, I'm using 16 inches. Which will be around her thigh. Now connect the points. So the next thing is to get the crotch extension. The next thing is to get the box. So for the box, I will use the padded hip measurements. So like I said, her actual hip is 33 inches. So I'm adding 3 inches to it, making it 36 divided by 4, which is 9. Then rule a line and connect the points. Now on this line I wrote, I'll get the front crotch extension. So on the crotch depth line, I'll mark her crotch extension as you can see me doing. On the crotch depth line, and on that line I just marked, which is her center front line. I'm marking her front crotch extension, which is hip divided by 20. Now on the hip line, go out by 0.2, which will be a guide for us to give it that crotch curve, as you can see me doing. So here is where I got my crotch extension on this line, as you can see. Now let's connect the points, passing through that 0.2 mark. Now divide from that crotch extension, divide that line by 2 and roll it down to the full length. So next thing, I want to get her waist measurement. So her waist divided by 4 is what I'm marking. Also note where I placed my tip is on the crotch line. Then connect it with a slight curve. Now the next thing is to get her round thigh measurement. So her round thigh is 14 inches divided by 2, 7. So I will place half of 7 on that straight line I marked down to the full length there. So placing half of 7 there, I will mark it on both sides. Then connect it as I'm doing. Also be taking note of how I'm connecting it and where I'm connecting it to. So connect the other part to the crotch extension. Now come down by ½ inch to slant your front. This is to eliminate bulge. So we are done with the front pattern here. So next is to get our back. So for the back, I'm marking 1 inch. Take note of where I placed my tape. And I'm marking 1½ inches at the top there. Then I'll connect both points. Now from the slanted front line, I will go up by 1 inch, as you can see. From the slanted waist for the front, I'm going up by 1 inch. Now from that place that I got the 1 inch, I will get her waist measurements and make sure it falls on that line there, as you can see me doing. Then connect. So I'm cancelling that crooked line. Now for the pen, for the back, I'm using the red pen. Now from this hip line, I'll go out by 1 inch, as you can see me doing. Don't mind how I'm placing my tape. So from the hip line, I came out by 1 inch, and on the crotch depth line, I also came out by 1 inch. Now connect to the waist with a slight curve. Now at the full length there, I'm coming out by ½ inch. Then I'll connect it. Now for the crotch extension for the back, you measure her actual hip divided by 10. So for her actual hip divided by 10 is 33 divided by 10, which is 3.3. So that's what I'm measuring there. And take note of where I placed my tape. It's on that red line, which is her back crotch line. And on the hip line there, I came out by 0.2, which I did on the front. So that would be a guide for me to draw the crotch. So I'm trying to make sure that my curve passes through that 0.2 mark. So that's my crotch extension for the back, as you can see. Now on the full length there, I will go out by 1/2 inch and connect it to the crotch extension for the back. So we are done with the drafting. So in the next class, we will draft the parts on this pattern. That's the hip parts pattern. We will draft it on this short. So I will trace out this and show us how to draft the parts on it. So I'm labeling my pattern. So here is my crotch depth line and here is my hip line. Then here is my waist line. Then the full length.